And welcome back, guys. In this video I want to take a look at how we can fixate limbs, for example the feet and the hands. So I don't know too many ways of doing this, but I've experimented a little bit with this, and what seemed to work the best for me was this approach I'm going to show in this video here. So for the feet, it's going to be a little bit easier. So I'm going to use a position constraint. So I'm going to drag that one in and then put that on top of the toe effector here and set that as the constraint object. Okay. And I'm going to do that the same for the, I'm going to swing that around for the other foot like this and say constraint. And so the source object just needs to be something which is stationary, so it can be anything. I like to use the wall, which I, by the way, just hit away. So I'm going to select that and then hold X down on the keyboard and drag that down with the left mouse button to here, set the source. And let's pick the constraint down here. And I like to keep things named so I can find things again. So this is a right foot effector, so I'm gonna rename this to foot R and then type in position. So I can see that this is a position constraint. So this is gonna be the left foot. Okay. And I'm gonna switch to the other foot like this and hold X again and then drag that down to the as a nope, not that one, sorry. Select the wall and drag that one down as a source. Okay. So if we just zoom in on the feet for a moment and take a look at how they move when I play the animation, we can see they are moving a little bit. It's not that much, but it's something you will may or may not notice. So what we can do now is say, okay, depending on where in the animation we are, we'll take a look at how the feet are positioned. Actually, I feel like I should actually move one of the feet up a little bit, just to make them exactly a little bit more on the same line, but never mind. I won't do that. So what I'm going to do is to say, okay, at this point in the animation, I think I'm going to lock the position here. So I'm going to click snap, and that did it for the left foot. So I'm going to do the same for the right one and click snap. And when I play the animation now, they still seem to move a little bit around. The moment I take this one and turn the translation up, and I do the same for the other foot, you'll notice that the feet are now locked in place, so they aren't moving at all. There's still a little bit of rotation. That's because we don't have anything with the rotation locked down, and that's what I like to get out of this approach here. So in order to get this baked into the animation, I will click animation and plot all properties like that. And then I can turn off the constraint here and the constraint here. So now the animation has this this fixed position and everything is adjusted according to that. Okay, that was the easy part. We don't have a similar one for the hand effectors. We don't have like a palm effector, and as far as I could tell, we can't use the same pivot effector here, because what Motion Builder will do, as far as I can tell, is that if I translate pinpoint this or constrain this one, it will still constrain this point here. So I have no idea how to get around this. So instead of that, I'm going to use a little workaround for that. which involves moving the actual wrist effector temporarily, so I can lock that down and then yeah, get the position locked down that way. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna say, okay, the wrist effectors are located here. Since this is the Unreal Engine character, it's pretty easy to see where the wrist is, but if your character is not as easy laid out as this one, you may want to take some kind of screenshot or whatever to make sure that you know exactly where the joints are, because you need to go back again when you're done with this. I haven't found a way to put them back again. I might be interested in figuring out how to do that, because yeah, obviously you want to put it back where it was. So anyway, I'm going to switch to the pivot mode, and I'm going to take the wrist and put that up a little bit, and I'm going to pull it a little bit to the side. I'm going to switch to the front view, or the back view rather, so I can see if I'm spot on with this. And it looks like this one should be here, right on the middle finger. And I'm gonna do the same for this one. So I'm gonna pull that up. This is the center point, by the way, and I'm gonna pull that here. So this is gonna be the rotation point, or the point that I will want to constrain. Okay, so switch to the side view, Control R, and do the same. So we zoom in a little bit, and then we move this one forward, and let's check the other side. I think that was the other side I adjusted here. Looks like it, yes. So that's the left wrist effector. And I switch back, and then adjust this one as well. So it's a bit hard to see here. I'm going to switch to the perspective view actually, and then I'm going to hide the wall again. Just make sure that it's pretty close to where I want it to be. Okay, so this looks pretty good to me as far as I can tell. Okay, so otherwise, I guess this is somewhat the same procedure. But before we can do anything with this, since I've now moved the effectors, it thinks that the character isn't in a different place. So I'm gonna go up and find my character here, and I'm going to deactivate control rig and then plot this to this setting here. Okay. Now that means I'm going to have my wrist effectors out here with the same position, and the reason why that worked was probably because I already put the animation. I can't remember if I did that, but I think I did plot it to my skeleton at some point. But anyway, so what I can do now is I can do the same procedure here. I can drag this one onto one of the wrist effectors. So this is going to be the constraint object, and drag this one over here and say this is also a constraint object, and let's rename these. Call this the hand right and hand L. Yes. And the constraint object is gonna, or the source is gonna be the wall. So I'm gonna drag those down. Whoops. Right. So I guess this is a good position for both the hands. So I'm just gonna snap that one and I'm gonna snap that one, and then hit play. And then again, like we did the other time, we need to turn on the translate and translate here. So that should keep these two effectors more or less at the same point. I'm actually a little bit puzzled why they seem to be moving a little bit. Actually, quite a bit, which is actually a bit weird. Okay, so this is, I'm just looking, okay, maybe I need to, no, still moving a little bit. That's weird. They were supposed to be at the exact same point, actually. Okay, let's just try and continue with this, because it is, I would say, better than before. It's not perfect, but it's better, and I'm not really sure why. Sometimes motion blur is weird, acting weird, I think. Okay, so this is the animation without any changes, and this is the animation with the constraint on. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take a break here, and maybe if I figure something out in the meantime, I'll start off by looking at that. Otherwise, we're gonna take a look at how we can make this loop in a nicer way in the next video. So stay tuned, and bye for now.